Earlier in the season, I made a video titled Stephen Curry averaging 60 still can't save the Golden State Warriors, which basically explains my thoughts on why the Warriors were destined to fail and probably miss the playoffs. Go check out that video if you haven't already seen it. I'll put up a card or a link in the description or something, where I basically discuss concerns I had about Wiggins, Draymond, Wiseman, and even the Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr, believing that there were simply too many unknowns and ultimately would cripple this team's ability to be a productive ball club and have success. However, it is clear that I've been wrong. While they aren't a top tier team, they are still competitive and do have many things going for them, putting themselves in a position to not just have a postseason appearance, but maybe even go on a run. Before I explain my thoughts more in depth, I wanted to preface this video with two things. Number one, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We really appreciate that. Drop a like rating. That helps our videos go out to more people. Comment down below what you think. And also, if you're new and you haven't subbed, comment down below that you subbed. We'll give you a shout out on the next video. And we really appreciate all of your guys' support. And the second thing I wanted to say before I begin my video is that it's okay to state and admit that you're wrong. Nobody's perfect. I don't like it when sports media figures not only refuse to admit they're wrong, but even look down at people who are courageous enough to admit that maybe they had a bad take. I'm looking at you, Stephen A. Smith, and Skip Bayless. I'm making this video admittedly in a pretty vulnerable position where I'm admitting that I'm wrong. And I just wanted to say that's okay, because nobody's perfect. And you are going to have some bad takes. Now, with that out of the way, let's first begin with a season overview of the Golden State Warriors so far. As the making of this video, they have a 14-12 record with the 20th ranked offense and the 6th ranked defense. Steph Curry averaging 30 points, 6 assists. Wiggins, nice season, an efficient 17 points per game. Other role players, etc. Now, of course, when we're talking about the Golden State Warriors, we have to begin with the chef himself, Steph Curry. And he's been amazing. And honestly, if it wasn't for his team's record, if they had a top, 2-3 seed, he would definitely be in the MVP discussion. Regardless of his record, honestly, I think he should be in the MVP discussion. Some people disagree, but it is what it is. That's neither here nor there. Still, he is carrying the team right now with not just a whole bunch of points, but efficient points, shooting 43% from 3 and 49% from the field. His 6 assists per game have helped set up his teammates, and his offensive threat has really spread the floor and allowed his teammates to thrive and really achieve the offensive potential that a lot of his teammates have. We're seeing Steph Curry do Steph Curry things again, like setting small brush screens for teammates, then sprinting to the three-point line for either an easy three for himself or an easy drive for a ball handler. We're seeing him running around. I remember Heat Check had a video about players who run the most, and he mentioned Steph Curry. We're seeing him do a lot of flashy things, logo threes, 30-foot threes, behind the back passes, after the buzzer, underhand three-pointers. And ultimately, we're seeing him bringing a love of basketball that we missed from him in the 2019-2020 season. He has far overexceeded my expectations and reminded me just why he was a 2-time MVP, one of those years unanimous. He's been awesome, and I really don't see him slowing down in any way. And as long as he's on the Warriors and as long as he's healthy, his team is going to be competitive, right? So Steph Curry is not who I'm worried about. He's proven everybody just what he's made of. Now let's go on to some players that do have some question marks, but I think have still shown signs of being productive players that can contribute to a playoff team, starting with Andrew Wiggins. And wow, this is the first time Wiggins is looking like a plus defender. He's always had the athletic tools to be an effective perimeter wing, but he was seriously lacking the motor to actually be that impactful defender. Finally, though, probably because of the culture within Golden State, he appears to be motivated and willing to put in the extra effort. Beyond the defensive side of the ball, he is shooting, 37% from 3, the most efficient he's ever shot it. His career average is 33%. Also, something I noticed is how much better of the quality of his three-pointers have been. In Minnesota, he was forcing a lot of bad shots, especially threes. Rusty Buckets, a channel I really recommend checking out, discussed in a recent video how Andrew Wiggins had a Kobe wannabe type disorder where he tried to be like Kobe, and as we know, Kobe took a lot of extremely difficult three pointers. And that was a key reason why his three pointers were just not good, and thus shooting at a very inefficient clip. Now in Golden State, however, he doesn't have to take those tough contested threes and can instead rely on an effective offensive system that hands him better three-point tries, right? So Andrew Wiggins is really, while he may not be as good as he was hyped up to be when he was initially drafted, he is starting to turn out as a nice effective player on both sides of the ball and ultimately help out the Golden State Warriors on whatever endeavors they want to achieve this year and in the future, right? And moving on to Andrew Wiggins, we have to talk about Kelly Oubre. And this is an extremely mixed bag. At the beginning of the season, he was bad. There's no other way to put it. He was awful. I remember there was like this stretch in the beginning where he was shooting like 4% from 3, 7%, or some crazy low number. Yeah, it was really bad. But he has been improving. Recently, he's been doing a lot better. And honestly, a big reason why I believe he was struggling in the beginning is because he was trying to do too much. It was almost like he had a chip on his shoulder, being traded so many times, and wanted to take matters into his own hands and show everyone up. Like, I remember there was this one specific play. He went into like a triple team or something, took a contested mid range, completely missed, and Stephen Curry was like, dude, what are you doing, right? However, as time went on, credit to the coaching staff, teammates, or even his own self-reflection, you could tell he's taking a backseat. He's starting to pick and choose his moments, trusting his teammates, and just focusing on winning basketball games. This is evident in his field goal percentage, where he got his three-point percentage up in the 30s and his field goal percentage up in the 40s, and I only expect his numbers to go up as he gets more and more comfortable. More and more comfortable. And beyond Kelly Oubre, though, I also want to take a deep look at James Wiseman. And I have to say, he does look promising. He does look really promising. While I don't see him as a generational franchise-altering player, I do see upside in him. He has more offensive polish than I anticipated, especially considering how he didn't play a lot of college basketball. And he even has an ability to bring up the ball up the floor, in scoring transition. A lot of skills that I didn't really anticipate him having. His three-point form might look weird, but it's going in, so nothing I can really say. He does look a little lost on defense at times, especially in pick and roll situations, but his defensive IQ will only increase when he has a mentor like Draymond Green on his tail. And oh boy, what an impact Draymond Green has had. In my previous video that I referred to in the beginning, I was seriously worried that Draymond would basically be washed, like Tyson Chandler, Marc Gasol type washed. But he's proven me wrong. His arrival a few games into the season seemed to completely change the productivity of his ball club overnight, and you have to look a little closer than the box score to see why. He really is that Swiss Army knife that does all the little things, like anchoring a defense, playmaking, rebounding. Green has a knack for blowing up pick and rolls, making sure that he switches to the right man, or even stopping an entire play in its tracks. While its offensive scoring may be lacking, he more than makes up for this with his intangibles. Now, moving on to other components of the team, I wanted to briefly touch on the bench unit. Juan Anderson, he's been solid. I think he's somebody that we should keep an eye out for. He's been rapidly improving. I like what I'm seeing from D. Lee, from Kent Bazemore. Brad Wanamaker has been a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, can't really expect everyone to be productive all the time, and we'll see how he hopefully turns things around as the season continues. And in terms of coaching, I don't really have a lot to say. Coaching's been a lot better. I like what I'm seeing from Steve Kerr, which I anticipated. I do think he is a good coach. Probably took him a little bit to realize that he actually does have to coach, but he's doing a good job. Now, with that recap out of the way, I wanted to explain how I really felt about them a quarter of the way into the season. Number one, as I said, I was wrong. If Steph Curry averaged 60, they would be an unstoppable team. And ultimately, I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs. They're going to make it. Will it be a high top 4 seed? Probably not. But they're going to be there for a 7-game series when playoff times come around, whether that be with a 6th place standing or through the play-in tournament. Barring injury, Stephen Curry will them into the playoffs and hopefully have some competitive success. And ultimately, I guess the way I want to close is just giving props to the Warriors. They really proved me wrong. I thought they would be extremely disappointing. Obviously not the case. Good for them. And that's all I have to say. If you liked the video, subscribe, comment down below, drop a like, and take it easy. See you next time.